This Coast to Coast Entertainment Network program is brought to you by Beside Me Bracelets. Our bracelets are handmade for any occasion. Use the promo code Coast to Coast for 15% off. Visit their website at besideme.com. Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. With 24-hour shopping available, use the code 160920 and show her some love, like she showed us. Reaper Apparel Company, a commitment to live your most authentic way every single day. Visit reaperapparelco.com for more information and a look at all of their apparel offerings. And by Good Day Embroidery, your local source for custom embroidery, screen printing, and more. Log on to gooddayembroidery.com for more information.
Two Morning Tailgate here on Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. I am Chris James. How you doing this morning?
I'm good. I can't wait for some of these games, but some of them I can wait for.
Yeah, there's going to be some good ones, and then some that are like, where they are on the schedule. That's why they have to face them. I'm also here with Big B. How you doing this morning, Big B?
I'm doing good. Just like James, there's some games that I'm ready to see, and there's some games that I'm just like, yeah, that game I hope is not on TV today because it's just not enticing. I'll tell you right now, I think the game of the week, though, is going to be the Monday night game between Texas and Cowboys.
Yeah, that match on Netflix, it was something. I don't know if it was a match, but it was something. And we are here with the Primus, Tim. How you doing this morning? Or evening?
I'm doing good. Excited to get this week started.
Okay. Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting week. Week 11. Almost done with the season. It's gone really quick, and this past week we had Thursday night football with the Philadelphia Eagles and Washington Commanders. Anybody see that game, and what's your thoughts on it? We'll go with James.
I just saw a little bit of it before I went somewhere else, but I know the Washington defense was doing good up until the second half, and the Eagles pretty much took over. Again, it's just another lesson, I think, for Jalen Daniels and the young Commanders facing the Eagle defense like that. So, yeah, I knew the Eagles were going to win that eventually and take over first.
Yeah, I mean, at halftime, I think it was like 10-0 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, I mean, it's a close match, it's a close game, but I don't know. Big B.
I saw some highlights, like James says. Daniels, if he wants to prove that he's the best of that division, he's got to face the best, as a good Ric Flair would say. Philly's been the top dog for the last few years, so he got a good matchup. The game was a typical Thursday game, not much action, a lot of defense, a lot of turnovers. Philly came out on top, excuse me. I'll tell you right now, Washington will be a force to be reckoned with down the road with Daniels at quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, it can be a learning experience, and I think Jaden Daniels is a good quarterback. He's doing good in the league so far, so I don't think it's going to hurt him too much. Tim, sorry.
That's all right. I've been called Jimi Hendrix before, so it's not much of a shock. But no, it's a learning experience. When you go, you have to get better in this league. You have to face the big dog teams. Like like Big B said, Ric Flair's big line is, in order to be the man, you have to beat the man, and the man in the NFC East has been the Philadelphia Eagles. So, in order to make that stepping stone, you have to put up big numbers against them, and you fought tooth and nail up until the fourth quarter. But that's while Washington's a young team, and the Commanders, they're just going to take this as a learning experience, and you got to move forward from there, and and Daniels and the rest of the squad is just going to learn, and you're going to see what they're going to do, what they learn when they go into next week.
Yeah, you definitely have to move forward. You have to have a short memory in the NFL or any sport, because if your mistakes linger, it could hurt you and your team. So you can't let that happen. And it kind of, I was watching Game Day Morning, and they were talking about rookie quarterbacks and how I think 36 of them were drafted, but only 20 of them didn't have a second contract with their team. So it's hard to develop a quarterback from college to the pros at times. So
Well, it's hard to develop a quarterback because today's mindset is you got to win now. So if you get a good quarterback,
yeah,
you're playing. You're trying to play the best team, but you're also trying to develop at the same time. And if it doesn't work out, just ask Chicago. They thought Fields was the answer. Didn't work out. They moved on. So a lot of these teams have to go back to the old school mindset of, hey, this is our guy. We need to let him sit for a year or two before we put him into the fire.
Yeah, you got to. I agree completely with the Big B, because you look at it. You look at if there's anybody who's has got the blueprint on developing quarterbacks. Look at Green Bay. Green Bay sat Aaron Rodgers behind Brett Favre. Jordan Love sat behind Aaron Rodgers. If you want to talk about how to prepare a team, you need to get the quarterback. You need to find a way to get into that quarterback coach's room in Green Bay and steal every quarterback coach they've ever had. Look at Andy Reid. Andy Reid was a quarterback coach in Green Bay. Look what he's done. You look at Steve Mariucci. He was a quarterback coach in Green Bay during the 5 years. You look at what Green Bay has done with the quarterbacks. Heck, Darrell Bevell was the Green Bay Packers quarterback coach, and he went to Seattle, and look what he's done. Where you look at the quarterback coaches, and you look at how they groom quarterbacks. If you want to look at a prime example, look at the Walsh system. The Walsh system, they did it with Joe. They did it with Steve Young under Joe Montana. They did it with Bono. They did it with Garcia. You look at that. You look at the Bill Walsh coaching tree, and it just seems like it's full of quarterback coaches that know how to develop coaches or quarterbacks.
Yep. Now on the flip side, there is the diamond in the rough once in a while, the C.J. Stroud, the Brock Purdy's that end up on a good team that looks good. But yeah, the Packers, they're the blueprint. You want to talk about a blueprint? Tim nailed it with the blueprint of the Packers on how they develop quarterbacks.
and I don't know why teams don't do that. It's a copycat league, so to speak, and I just don't know why they don't do that.
Because the fan base and the team ownership is all about winning now. They can't sit.
That's true. I get it, but you have to figure things out at some point, though.
Yeah.
We can get to the headlines with some of these picks too. Green Bay going to Chicago. I think I know where everybody's going with this based on what the home team's going through, but what's your guys' pick? We'll go with Big B.
Man, honestly, I had troubles with this one. I know everybody's going to be shocked, because like Chris said, what Chicago's going through, but this is the longest rivalry in sports history. They always show up. It's in Soldier Field. It's oh man. I mean, it's one of those things where if the Bears win 2 games, they have to be against Green Bay. Caleb Williams has a lot riding on his career. I know the fan base is, always upset when the Packers beat the Bears, especially at Soldier Field. With that being said, I still got to go Green Bay on this game just because they're more, rounded out right now and they're not dealing with the issues. So I think it's going to be a good game. I think Packers will win around 10 points. So.
Yeah. Okay. James, who do you got?
One thing to look at, the Packers have a couple of injuries in their secondary, but we'll see if Jazair Alexander and Evan Williams plays. They're questionable today. I have no confidence in the Bears at all, so I really don't right now. The Packers are coming off a bye, and Jordan Love needed that. Remember the last game they played, they lost in the rain at Lambeau against Detroit, where it just looked like, hey, we needed a reset if you were the Packers. The Packers lead the all-time series 107-95 and 6 ties. Probably was way back in the day. So the Packers are going to get the win. They're going to have 108 wins over the Bears today.
All right, Tim.
Yeah, wow. I think 9/10 of my family would kill me if I got this one wrong. I'm not really worried about Jair Alexander, even though my brother seems to have got a direct line to the cornerbacks in Green Bay, because I guess they told him they're starting, so I kind of have to believe that. But I'm not worried about the Jair Alexander. I look at McKinney. I think McKinney's become a stud.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the kid Chicago's got to worry about. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this very, very early. I'm taking Green Bay as my lock.
Wow.
Ooh. That's risky. Especially going early on.
Green Bay fans.
I want you to know something. Every lock that I've had this year, I've lost.
Oh, sorry, Green Bay.
Yeah, I'm going Green Bay too. I know it's been a struggle for Chicago. But I feel like Green Bay is the most, prepared team in this matchup, and they just got the better talent, I think. Next up, we have the Jaguars taking on the Lions.
Yeah.
Your pick. We'll go Tim.
I don't even think this. Why is this the Jaguars? Why is it every time that I say the Jaguars are going to get blown out, it seems like every team plays down to the Jaguars? I just don't get it. Right now, Detroit would be going for their best 10 game. What is it? Best 10 game mark since 1934. If they go 9-1 today, I still got Mac Jones starting. Problem is, I'd be a little less leery if it were Trevor Lawrence starting against Detroit's defense. This should have been the give me lock, but give me Detroit in this game. I think Detroit's just way too hard to handle in Jacksonville, and it's in Detroit. So
it is in Detroit. Big D.
Yeah, like Tim said, you guys all picked Jacksonville last week to blow out the Vikings to blow them out. I said I was scared on that game. This game I'm kind of different on. I think the Lions are out to show people that they are the NFC top dog. I think they want to show it. Hutchinson's still out. I don't know if he's due to return this year, but which I don't think he is. But
playoffs. Yeah. I heard playoffs.
Okay.
Wow.
But like Tim said, this is the best start they've had. To win today is the even better start. I'm gonna pull an old Big B baller here, and I'm gonna say Goff is gonna go off today. So I got the Lions today, and bring back an oldie but a goodie, Big B's baller, Jared Goff.
Well, that means Goff is going to have 3 interceptions and a fumble. Jeez. And the sad thing is, I think I have Jared Goff, and I'm not starting him.
Oh,
Change your lineup.
Change my lineup, yeah.
James, who do you got?
Oh, I see Sam Laporta's out, but I don't think that'll matter. They've been going to their other tight end more. Tank Bigsby will be out, the running back for Jacksonville. I know he was getting a lot of the carries. ETN's gonna have to work hard again. Yeah, I think it'll be a blowout. I don't want to say as my lock, but it should be my lock. But I'm waiting for another one to be. So yeah, I'm going Detroit by at least 21.
You gotta
Golf is a big game too.
21. I'm starting to think that you're going with the over/under here for some reason.
It's 14, and I think I was trying to remember the last time they were favored by that much. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Lions are favored by 14. Wow.
Yeah, that's why I put that on there. I think it was the first time since '96 that they were favored by this much. I want to say. Yeah. But what was I going to say now? I forgot. But yeah, Jared Goff needs a big game. Throwing so many picks lately. This is a game where, hey, indoors, you got to hit St. Brown, you got to hit everybody, or rely on your running game if you don't have the confidence right now.
That's true. Stafford struggled against Houston last week. Hopefully he has a bounce back game this week.
Or Goff.
Jared Goff will probably be better in Detroit, though.
Probably. Let's see. Who else we got? Lion. Okay, here we are. Vikings at the Titans. Big B, we'll start with you. Who are you picking? I think I know.
Another game that the Vikings should just come in and just take it to the Titans. Again, like it showed last week, they like to play down to their team they're playing against. I still have to go with the Vikings on this one. I think they are going to rebound from Jacksonville. So yeah. Minnesota, I think it's still going to be a close one because I just can't trust the Vikings to put up much points against a weaker team.
Tim, who do you got?
Brandon, you got to be confident, bud, because they're starting Will Levis in Tennessee, which should by itself tell you everything you need to know. I just don't trust Tennessee. It's an AFC. This is the only two. The Jacksonville Jaguars and the Tennessee Titans are the only reason why Indy's not in the basement. And it's nice having both of them in your division. But I just don't. I don't think after 2 weeks in a row where you're playing down to your team, and I think a lot of that. I don't know what the Minnesota radio stations have been saying, but This is a good pick-me-up game. I think this is a game that I don't think it's a trap game because you've had 2 trap games before this. But I think that Minnesota gets out of their own way, and I start to think play where they belong. So I got Minnesota.
James?
All right, so this is the 3rd straight game for the Vikings against the AFC South, and they've won 2 in a row against Indy and Jacksonville. I expect them to win today as well, but the Titan defense, they're pretty tough. And even though they'll be without Snead, I believe today, the former corner of Minnesota, I believe, he's out. So that's going to be unfortunate because I want to see if Snead, how much of an impact he was having there. But Tennessee, they've lost their last 4 out of 5. They're playing for a draft pick. They need a quarterback, obviously. But yeah, Minnesota should win. Just Sam Darnold has to not throw picks. He has to just throw simple passes, not trying to do too much. It felt like after that bye week, you remember they were 3-0. They had the first bye week, and then ever since then, he's not the same. So he's just got to throw better, rely on JJ and Addison, get to the tight ends as well. And hopefully the Vikings win by at least 10. If not, it will be very concerning going into some divisional games. But for now, I got Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm going Minnesota as well. They should be able to win. Keyword should be able to. And I think they can. They're facing Tennessee, but Tennessee can be in games sometimes, not necessarily win, but they can be in games. But I think Minnesota can take this one. Raiders at the Dolphins. James, it's your team. Who's your pick?
Man, I enjoyed that bye week so much. You know why? Because they couldn't win or lose. So now they have to play. And the offensive line is banged up. Nate Hobbs is out on the corner. Questionable is Michael Mayer, the tight end, who's been in and out with some mental issues. I think because he lost his starting spot, probably.
Or he plays for the Raiders.
That too. Raiders have lost their last 5 games. They've been really awful. Had the bye week. And then the Dolphins, they finally picked it up last week. They lost 3 in a row before the Monday night win in LA against the Rams. Their defense did really well, stopping the Rams' offense for most of the game until the end. I expect Miami to win this at least by 10. It feels like 10 or more is what I'm going for today on these games, some of them. But it's still 82 degrees, which I'm shocked by, in Miami. So I know they'll be forced to wear black, the Raiders. That'll be tough for them. Limit mistakes and somehow maybe pull off a win, but I don't see it. I'm going to go Miami at least by 10 in this.
All right, Big B.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what to really say. Like James said, the Raiders coming off the bye, which typically can be good for some teams, but the Raiders are just a mess right now. I have Miami winning this one. I don't think it's going to be that big of a or that close of a game.
No. James. Or Tim.
Still named Tim.
I know.
Right.
I know. I keep messing up.
It's all right. It's life.
Tim needs to start wearing a name tag, I guess.
I guess. I put it right here. It's funny because the Dolphins suck at home. The Raiders are terrible everywhere. As long as I think the Dolphins win this game, as long as Tua doesn't throw an interception and try to make a tackle, because he can't get out of his own way. Because you don't make that type of tackle when you're the quarterback, especially when you got head problems. I've got the Dolphins, and sorry, James, but I think this is a 2-touchdown game.
It's going to be.
Yeah. I'm going with the Dolphins on this one. It's a home game for Miami. Hopefully Tua doesn't get hurt. Who knows? I just want everybody kind of healthy.
Yeah.
Rams at the Patriots. Not a Super Bowl rematch like the old days, but I guess a rematch nonetheless. Tim, who do you got?
If you look at the schedule, there are a lot of Super Bowl rematches today. Because you've got the Patriots, Rams, you've got the Falcons, Broncos, you've got the Colts, Jets, you've got it's crazy. Rams, I just don't like the Patriots. I seem to have picked up the mantle when mess around said that he'll never pick the Patriots. I know Tom Brady's not there, but that's still an ugly helmet, and they still play in Foxborough, and they still play in New England. You can't tell that I'm a salty Indianapolis Colts fan. I've got the Rams, and I think this is by 10.
Ooh, by 10. James.
Man, Patriots defense, they play people tough. I know we saw that through the season so far. The quarterback year disparity is really crazy when you think about Stafford against Drake May. I want to see how Drake May does against the young Ram defense. And then both running backs, you got to think about it with Stevenson and Kyron Williams on each team. I want to see how they do against the defenses today as well. I think ended up, Stafford winning this game. I'm gonna say by at least 8-7, but I think it'd be a closer game than people think. But I'm gonna go Rams.
Big B.
Yeah, this was another game I kind of was flip flopping back and forth on, and just trying to, weigh the pros and cons. So somebody got my picks there. I can't remember if I went with the Rams or if I did go to the Patriots. To me, it was a toss-up game. So I think if I went Patriots, it was just because they were at home. But I believe I picked the Rams.
You picked the Rams.
Yeah, okay. I picked the Rams. Yeah, it'll be a good game. I think this could be an overtime game. Could be one of Tim's favorite games where, the team with the ball at the end of the game is going to be the one that wins it. So it could be one of those type of games. But I'll go Rams.
Yeah, I'm going with the Rams too. Patriots, since they got which quarterback, they're playing a little bit better, but I feel like the Rams are a bit better for this game, and that's kind of who I'm going for in this one, even though the Patriots are at home. And it looks like Brady's calling the Bears game today. So,
lucky them.
Lucky Packers.
Next we have the Browns going to New Orleans to face the Saints. I think I know where everybody's going, but let's go James first.
Yeah, it's crazy. They have the Browns favored by 1.5. It is a revenge game for Jameis Winston. He's going back to New Orleans. But I think the Saints, they have enough weapons to get it done. Jameis Winston, you can't really trust him. They're coming off a bye week, though. We'll see if that helps out. They've lost 4 out of the last 5. Same for the Saints. They had a win last week. It was a refreshing kind of win with the new intern head coach. But I guess I'll go with the Saints, but I think it's going to come down to a field goal for New Orleans.
Ooh, field goal. Tim, who do you got?
Yeah, this is just going to be an ugly game. This could be separated, like everybody says. I think this could be a field goal game. It was nice to see the Saints get a win for their interim. Outside the defense for Cleveland, I don't like Cleveland. I don't think they've got the weapons to take on New Orleans. Hopefully we're going to see the New Orleans from week 1 and 2 where they put up 40 plus points. Do I see it happening? Probably not. I think it's going to be a close game, like James has said, and probably what I'm going to hear from everybody else. But yeah, I've got the Saints.
All right, Big B.
Yeah, I kind of, again, doing the old flip-flop throughout the week, but, I think the Saints are going to do it. They're at home. They, got a pretty tough defense there. So I'm going to take the Saints in a close game. I'm going to call it right now. Tyson Hill has a game-winning touchdown. And that is going to be where I leave it at. I'm going to talk to you guys later. Have to head off to work. Have a good day, guys.
All right. Have a good day.
Great.
Now is that as a tight end or as a quarterback?
He'll just run it. They'll be in a wildcat formation. He'll run
I
it
don't
up the
know.
middle.
I don't know. He gets an interception because he's now playing defense.
Because with Taysom Hill, he can go running back, quarterback, halfback. I don't know. He can go multiple offensive, uh, multiple positions there. I'm going Saints on this one. I think it's no brainer because the Browns are playing. um, the Colts at the Jets. Jim,
Why? Why? Why?
or
Why?
should we
Why?
call them the Baltimore Colts?
Well, at this point, we're starting our 22-year-old quarterback. We find out that we've got the second. Yeah, exactly. This better be the first play of the game at this point. It's this. It's I just read that it's the second youngest quarterback taking on the oldest quarterback. That's great if they're playing on opposite side of the ball from each other. Yeah, that's cool. But Jonathan Taylor, Brees Hall, we could say the same thing. We're getting Pittman back. Right now, Devontae Adams is questionable, but I'm not sure if he's a game time or if he's actually going to play. I haven't heard otherwise. We need to really step it up. We saw that we can't do it with either quarterback last couple weeks. Everybody's questioning why we decided to go back to Anthony Richardson. When you double your interception output in the first two drives, I could see that. I don't know. This is the point that I think everybody was making earlier about quarterbacks, and we're at the point where we're second, we're 4-6, and we're playing. We have to win now. I think we've just conceded our playoffs. I'll be surprised if we're still in a playoff line. I know we're 2 games behind the final playoff wild card spot. I don't like our chances. We're the underdog in this game. I like the Jets.
All right, James.
Man, I think it just depends for me if Devontae Adams plays. Tyron Smith, the left tackle, is out as well. C.J. Mosley is out, the linebacker. So that's pretty tough on both sides of the ball when you think about protection and getting after Richardson. And then, again, I think it comes down to Adams. If Adams doesn't play, the Jets lose. If he plays, it'll be tough to see how the Colts defense does. EJ Speed is also questionable, the linebacker for the Colts. And I know he's a big part of that the defense there. Man, the Jets looked awful last week. I couldn't believe that in Arizona. They just basically gave up that game. That was terrible. The Colts showed more fight against that game against Buffalo last week. Just based off that, I'm going with the Colts here. I feel like the defense gets it done. There's going to be boos coming from the MetLife fans there in New Jersey. I think the Colts defense gets it done. Taylor's going to have a good game on the ground. The Jets just look done. So I'm going to Indy.
You're going Indy. All right, I'm going Indy too. I feel like even though the Jets signed Aaron Rodgers to a contract to at that point hopefully save the team, I don't think it's working out too well. Of course, having an injury last year didn't help much. But I'm going with the Colts on this one. You have the Falcons at the Broncos. James, who do you got?
Okay, so this one is tricky because, man, Kirk Cousins, he's falling back to his old ways again, and the defense really needs to come up big. The Broncos are in games. They're just losing them. They did not protect on that last-second field goal. Those little mistakes can be corrected with Sean Payton, and I feel like that's going to happen. I don't trust the Falcons on the road. as we saw in New Orleans a couple of weeks ago as well, or last week, excuse me. I'm going Broncos with this, surprisingly. I think the Broncos win this. They're going to do it on the offense, both sides. Yeah, I'm going Denver.
All right, Tim.
Yeah, we almost had, which is kind of going to loop around to my prime five. We almost lost our undefeated team last week because of a blocked field goal. You know, they played Kansas City tough, which is good to see. But you know, that's great. You played Kansas City to a loss. I think this is going to be a really, really close game. I think this is going to be a fun game to watch. But I've got Atlanta.
Atlanta.
I hope.
I got the Broncos in this one, and I'm going to make it my lock.
Woo!
Go big, I guess.
Well, Jair Alexander is active for today's game against the Bears. So my brother was right on half of that.
Uh-huh. Seahawks and the 49ers. Tim?
I think I know that he was. I know. Who am I thinking of? The tight end.
George Kittle.
Kittle's questionable, but they say he's unlikely to play. I caught that on, I think it was Thursday or Friday. If Deebo Samuel shows as much spirit as he does by trying to choke out a long snapper, I think San Francisco wins this game by a lot. I like San Francisco. I think Christian McCaffrey is starting to get into that midseason form. I think his second or third game. He's probably the healthiest guy on the roster right now, which should scare Seahawk fans. I've got the 49ers.
I got the 49. I got the Seahawks actually. 49ers have been struggling a little bit. Seahawks aren't a bad team, but they're not a good team. I'm going to go the underdog, I guess, and go with the 49ers. Or Seahawks. Man, I can't think. Seahawks, final answer on that one. Aaron Rodgers is contemplating retirement after the season.
You should You should think about it after this game.
That's what I was just about to say.
James, who do you got in this game?
I can't trust the Seahawks. They've lost 6 straight games to the 49ers. I know it's a divisional game. Trent Williams and George Kittle are both questionable. So that's pretty tough when you think about it. That Brock Purdy's blindside there. Noah Fant is out. Both tight ends are out for the Seahawks, so they're not going to get anything rushing. I think Gino's going to throw a couple of picks and lose this game. I'm going San Francisco.
I think we're all, I think I'm the Lone Ranger kind of thing. I'm the only one picking the Seahawks here. I think we're all going to be in agreement maybe on this next game. Chiefs at the Bills. We'll go James.
Man, this one is hard because think about this. It isn't the postseason, so you don't go with the Chiefs right away. Josh Allen is 3-1 against Patrick Mahomes in the regular season, but 0-3 in the postseason head-to-head. Based on that, I have to go with the Bills. I think finally the Chiefs get their loss. This game, the Sunday night game, and I think the one we skipped, the Ravens and the Steelers, these 3 games, I cannot wait for today to watch. Yeah, I think the Bills are just hot right now. You can see some deficiencies with the Chiefs right now. So, yeah, I'm going to go Buffalo. I feel like they're confident enough. Their defense is playing good enough. And I just want to see Pat Mahomes finally lose. But Allen's playing on the MVP pace. 17 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. James Cook has done well. Shazier has done well. The receiver, they've won their last 5 games. Well, both teams have, so they're both coming in very hot. Amari Cooper's questionable. Kean Coleman is out, though, the 2 receivers. Kincaid is out as well. So as I say that, I'm telling myself, damn, what should I do? I know Pacheco had a chance to play in this game, but they decided not to rush him back. I know a lot of Chief fans are wanting him back for this game. All that being said, I'm going to go with Buffalo. I think it's going to come down to another Tyler Bass field goal to win the game, just like the last time they had a home game in Orchard Park. Yeah, I'm going Buffalo by a field goal today.
All right, Tim.
So I want to give James some good news about Devontae Adams. He's in for today's game against the Colts. So
I just want to see Rodgers and Adams not on the same pace again, or same page again.
I would love for that to happen, but I picked the Jets. I
picked the Colts. Never mind.
No, go ahead.
I picked the Colts. I forgot. Duh.
Yeah, I didn't, and I'm the Colts fan. I have this as the game of the day. I think this is going to be a great game. As long as it was weird when they came out that they came out and announced the officiating staffs about the whole officiating leading the league in calling illegal formations and false starts and yet the Buffalo Bills team leads the league in both illegal formations and false starts.
Oh boy.
After and I didn't know that until last week when Buffalo played Indy, and they said that they had 19 of those infractions, and there's a second. What is it? There's a second most penalized team in that, and they're playing the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm not going to play the conspiracy theorist guy. As long as the refs call it flat down the evil. Yeah. After I make the comment, if they're the conspiracy theory, I'm going to go ahead and say as long as the zebras keep themselves out of the game, this is going to be. I think Buffalo walks away with this game, but the Kansas City Zebras, they love to insert themselves into a lot of games. I still have the Bills.
I have the Chiefs on this one. I mean, I don't know why everybody wants the Chiefs to lose. I don't
keep
see
winning.
We don't like Mahomes.
They have the referees in their back pocket, and they can throw it out anytime.
I don't like hearing people getting their house broke into, but when I heard that Kelsey and Mahomes got their house broke into, that was better than going undefeated.
When was this?
It just came out this past week, and a month ago they both had their homes broke into. So to me, they can go 17-0 and they still found a way to lose. No, but yeah, I don't like Mahomes. He's just arrogant. Kelsey's writing himself up there. I don't care. He's dating Taylor Swift. I could care less. He could date Michelle Obama for all I care. But the thing is, it's just the fact is they're just two people that I just don't like their attitudes.
Yeah, and I get it. They have their Super Bowl wins and all that. So I can see that too. I just think that the Chiefs have their number though, and could possibly win it. Bengals.
Do we do Ravens and Steelers, or am I tripping?
You're tripping. No, we haven't done it.
I'm not tripping. Okay.
No, you're not tripping. You're tripping.
Bengals at the Chargers. James.
Man, I'm actually looking forward to this game. They flexed it in. I think it was supposed to be Jets and Colts, the Sunday night game, and they flexed out of that and put the Bengals in the Charger game. I'm interested in this one, honestly, because the Charger defense, they've been tremendous. They're number 3 in the league, but they played like the number 1 ranked defense the last 3 games. They've been amazing. The Bengals trying to make their comeback. They still got time. They're just like the Colts in that sense where they just need to go on a winning streak. And their schedule kind of favors that for right now. But they can't take care of business themselves. That's what the problem is. They're losing games when they should be winning them. They have won 3 out of their last 5, but last Thursday, they've had a lot of time off. They lost the Thursday night game in Baltimore going for 2 instead of just tying it and going to overtime. Meanwhile, the Chargers, they've won their last 3 straight. They haven't given up 20 points all season long. And now you have a chase problem. You just have to keep him from going downfield and catching passes for touchdowns. If you can do that, the Chargers should win. I'm going the Chargers on this. I think more than 3. I just can't trust the Bengals right now, and it's unfortunate. I know Khalil Mack is questionable, but Trey Hendrickson is also questionable for Cincinnati, so that's going to be interesting on both sides of the defense. Maybe more points will be scored if both do not play tonight. So yeah, I'm going Chargers though.
All right, Tim.
Yeah, to go with that injury bug with Cincinnati. They're down Orlando Brown. He's questionable. That's that backside. That's that blindside tackle. The protection that Burrow has had lately to find Jamar Chase. Chase is only 19 yards away from 1,000. He's put up one of those years. If if this was college, he'd be getting the Biletnikoff. But he's put up some outstanding numbers. I think it's going to go the opposite way. I think it's going to be a field goal, but I think it's going to be a field goal for the Bengals.
Hopefully.
James, I go to you on your pick.
Yeah, I'm going Chargers.
I'm going Chargers too. Bengals have just been struggling. I don't know what's going on with Cincinnati, but
bad start.
Yeah, definitely a bad start. I don't see them making a playoff run, but anything's possible in the NFL. Before we go to the Monday night game, let's do the Ravens versus the Steelers. I kind of missed over that one. Tim, who do you got on this one?
I think this is going to be the game of the afternoon games. This has got so much potential. Russell Wilson going up against that Ravens defense. You've got Lamar Jackson going up against the Steelers. This is just a typical AFC North game. The Steelers have a half game lead over the Ravens for the division. This is going to be one of those close games. I like it. Watt's going to put his nose everywhere it needs to be, but I want to see Watt up against Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry just put up monster numbers this year. After I think I've said it every week that I thought he lost the step. I got the Ravens, but I think this is a Ravens game that's going into overtime.
Ooh. I hope so.
Let's see. Big B picked the Bengals earlier. And he's picking the Ravens in this one. James, who do you got?
Man, both are coming in winning 4 out of the last 5. The Steelers have won 4 straight, and both survived last week. Remember, Pittsburgh in Washington by 1. Same thing with Baltimore over Cincinnati on Thursday night. So they've had a lot of time off. Man, all those matchups like you just mentioned, Tim. I'm shocked. I'm gonna be watching definitely. Man, I want to see if the Ravens get better with their defensive pickups. I think the Ravens win this by 1. It's gonna be a really fun and close game, hopefully. But I think too much Derrick Henry up the middle. I believe not Casey Hayward. I think he's out. Not Casey Hayward, but Alex Highsmith, the linebacker. Excuse me. He's out today. I think that's going to loom large for the Steeler defense. Like T.J. Watt, he's going to have to do a lot, but there's nothing up the middle. So that's going to be tough because Henry runs right up the middle and through you and around you. So with all that being said, I think Baltimore wins. Wilson will probably make some mistakes, some costly ones late, and I think the Stiller winning streak, the renegade streak, will finally be over. So I'm going Baltimore.
I'm going Baltimore as well. Steelers have been playing okay, and it looks like I think Carolina's not feeling too well about their quarterback choices, so they might be going after Justin Fields in the offseason
Ouch.
if they can't find anybody else, I think.
Just
And
give up.
so I mean that's the one thing about being a successful team. Everybody wants your players or your coaches or whoever. So and then we go to the Monday night game, a game I have no confidence in.
I wouldn't
Texans
either.
at the Cowboys. I'm going Houston. At least the Texas team's going to win. So
Well, they could tie.
I'm going Houston in this one.
Oh, they could tie, and Donovan McNabb can't remember that they can tie in the regular season.
Oh, that's right, in Cincinnati that one time. Or they'll draw since it's Texas. They'll draw.
They'll draw.
James, who do you got? Or is it a tie or a draw?
No, that would be bad. You know, Cowboys have lost their last 4. The Texans have lost their last 2.
Yep.
But I think Houston finally wakes up. Nico Collins should be back for Houston, and that's going to be huge for them. They needed him back. I think if they had him, the Texans would have won last week over Detroit because Goff was giving away Christmas gifts last Sunday. I don't know. I can't trust Cooper Rush or Trey Lance. You know, Trey Lance had that horrible ass pick late in the game, or that safety was right there waiting for the ball. So I have no confidence in either of the quarterbacks for the Cowboys. And even if Dak was playing, I still wouldn't have confidence in them as well. So I'm going Houston. It'll probably be a blowout. I don't know by how much, but at least by 8. I'm going Houston.
I'm sure next, in the draft, the Cowboys are gonna get Deion Sanders. I don't think this is true, but Deion Sanders and his son at quarterback.
Whoa!
Oh, you guys are gonna.
I really don't think
that's awesome.
They just signed Dak.
I really don't
think
that's gonna happen.
He's not going anywhere.
They're going to trade him for the first pick in the draft.
Not for that deal. $60 million a year? No way.
It's still a better deal than that Deshaun Watson crap.
Less oil.
Tim,
the funny thing is, it don't matter what quarterback they're back there. He's going to have a little bit of time. No Will Anderson for Houston. That really doesn't make much of a difference. No, I don't want to blow up this guy's name. No, Futakasi, he's out. Outside of that, I just like the defensive backs, and in Houston, I'm thinking Lassiter is out of concussion, but I haven't heard if he's cleared protocol or not. That defensive backfield in Houston is a little scarier than it probably needs to be. I don't care who's throwing the ball; they're right up there. I've got Houston, and I think at this point, I think Houston is going to claim Texas as their own after this game. Aaron Rodgers is going to tell them you can just sign over ownership to the state of Texas to Houston after this game.
It'd be interesting how much red will be at Jerry's World on Monday too.
After the Tyson fight.
Will there be curtains on Monday, Crispy Bacon?
No. No curtains. Unfortunately, no.
It's a night game.
Jerry wants a fair fight, so to speak.
So they're going to have the women's fight first, then.
It's funny. I saw that depending on the coin toss, the Cowboys could I'm sorry, the road team can make it so that the Cowboys can see or have to stare at the sun one half and screw themselves basically, and then the other team, the road team, doesn't have to deal with it. It's a strategy going forward around this time for anybody coming into Dallas.
And the funny
Well, it
thing,
won't matter. It
well,
won't
the
matter.
funny thing is, it won't. Yeah, it's Monday night game. It won't matter this week. But the
After
thing
that.
about it, CeeDee Lamb, if he was smart and he knew about the sun, he should have changed. He should have changed his visor. That's just that simple. He would have never had a problem with
Yeah.
that.
Now, if it was like what? I think it was first 5 weeks of the season, 6 weeks, and the sun was out, later on in the evening, it could be a
Right.
problem. Right now, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
If you're playing on Monday night, so
The thing about this, the rest of the way, you don't have to worry about playing any night games.
Yeah, even the playoffs, you don't have to worry about even playing the afternoon game.
we got one. We got one more. We got one more Monday night.
Is it at Cincinnati or at
Cincinnati.
Dallas?
Oh, you guys play the Natty.
I want to say Cincinnati.
Flex it out.
Yeah. If it's on Sunday, they're going to flex that out.
Monday.
It's a Monday? Flex it out
It's a
anyway.
Monday
Flex
night.
it
Yeah.
out. Flex it
Flex
out
it
for
out.
Monday afternoon.
It's supposed to be the alternate telecast. It's supposed to be the
all the kids
alternate
are at school.
telecast with The Simpsons.
If you flex it out, it out on Monday and put it on Monday afternoon while the kids are in school, then they don't have to embarrass themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You guys got 2 Monday night games. You've got a Sunday night game too against Tampa Bay.
Oh, fun!
That's getting flexed out. I'm telling you. That's in Jerry's world too. Yeah, that's getting flexed out.
Maybe not, because we'll have darkness.
Darkness. So you've foreseen the rest of the league, the rest of the season. It's all darkness for you guys.
But those are our game picks. Hopefully, we do good this week. Tim, do you have a prime 5?
I do. I really do, and I kind of alluded to it about Denver almost beating Kansas City last week, and I'm figuring who's going to be the 5 teams that could give Kansas City their first loss. And my number 5 team is the last hope at this point. It would be Denver because they play Denver week 5 or week 17, week 18, whatever week they want to play. I think it's week 18 they play. That's the last gasp. The 72 Dolphins, which there's 3 people left from that team at this point. Would love for that to happen. My number 4 team is the Los Angeles Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's week 15. I want to say that's the Browns. I had their schedule up but it's LA and to be
14,
honest,
14.
Week 14. The reason why I've got 5 teams because the other 3 teams are the Cleveland Browns, the Carolina Panthers, and the Las Vegas Raiders. I would love for it to be the Las Vegas Raiders.
On Black Friday too.
Yeah, well then maybe everything's possible because I would love to see it, and it's in Kansas City, but we all know that's not going to happen. Then I've got the Houston Texans at number 3. They're week 16, which I think it's a good possibility. And I've got the Pittsburgh Steelers the week following on week 17, but I truthfully don't think they get past this week. I think they get beat by the Buffalo Bills.
Ooh.
I look at the last game of the season too at Denver. Let's say
Yeah,
Denver is trying to get in.
Yeah, I got them at number 5 because I looked at the rest of the squad. Like I said, the Browns, the Texans, and the Panthers don't really give me hope.
The Chargers, I think, are my number 2.
The Browns, the Raiders, and the Panthers they just don't give me hope.
No, especially Carolina. Yeah, I would say today is number one, Chargers number two, and then you look at the Broncos. If they're fighting for a playoff spot and Kansas City's already locked in, I don't think they should, jeopardize their playoff run to try to go undefeated. They should think about the ultimate prize and lose that game in Denver.
I think
the last week 18.
I think they got a possibility of losing 2 out of the next 7 or 2 out of the next 8.
Maybe the Charger game. I know Chargers haven't won in Kansas City in forever.
Yeah.
I think the last time was Phillip Rivers starting for the Chargers.
Right. And I think the last time Indy beat Kansas City, Phillip Rivers was our quarterback too.
2020.
Yep.
Going back to that Cowboy conversation, Big B said, "What's going to be, what going to be a bright watt light bulb today?" Yeah.
I can't wait for that game, man.
And then Sanders and Sanders coming to Dallas is my spoiler or a guarantee.
There's no way no.
I think this is. I think he's trying to pull a Paul Heyman where it's going. It's not a spoiler. It's a guarantee.
Yeah.
It's not a
I don't know what the hell.
It's not a prediction. It's a spoiler.
It's a speculation.
You know where they're gonna go?
Speculation.
Indy.
Raiders. They're gonna go to the Raiders.
Atlanta.
Raiders.
He could. I could see the Tennessee Titans sucking for Sanders.
I haven't heard that one, but yeah, look about it. Antonio Pierce is going to get fired, and then Raiders don't have a quarterback for the future, and they're trending toward the first pick, and they can manipulate where they want to go too, and they don't want to go to the Giants. So, and already Mark Davis is hanging out with Shedeur Sanders. So I could see that in Vegas. At this point, I'll take anything that resembles a win. If I have to deal with the egos and all that crap, I'll take it. I'll take it.
So what are we sticking to our coaches for our coaches Deadpool?
Put Pierce after this game right up there at number 3. Pierce, if it's a blowout.
All right, what about you, Bacon?
Oh,
yeah, I'll stick with my pick.
Who was your pick again? Pierce.
I don't remember. I have to go back.
I think you had Peters, and you had. And
yeah.
I think James had Peterson.
I think I did.
He had the first round draft pick at that point.
Yeah, I'm going Peterson then.
Yeah, still. And I've got McCarthy still.
Sorry, I think he's gonna ride it out.
Yeah, Jerry's not making a move. Other teams would have by now. The way that he's lost the locker room, the way that Parsons has talked about him after the game, and then on this podcast, throwing McCarthy under the bus. Any other team would have made that move by now, but Jerry is like, nah.
Look how fast Indy got rid of Frank Reich. He got rid of Frank Reich early in that season, and then Carolina turned around.
Carolina.
So it's I don't know. Maybe it's that Arkansas blood in Jerry that he can't get his head around.
Mm-mm.
And to think he played offensive line in college.
That's possible.
No, it's mentally not there. But he played in the I can't remember what conference that was at the time. That wasn't an SEC school. That was part of the.
I don't know. No,
I can't remember the name of that conference.
The WAC, the MAC.
No, it was. It was my. No, it wasn't. He wasn't. Where they was Arkansas.
Before Big 12.
It was Arkansas. Whatever. We'll figure it out. Arkansas.
We'll come back next week for it.
Was it 64? I think it was 64.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh,
Arkansas 64. No, I don't want to know what if they lost yesterday.
Southwestern Conference.
Yeah, that's right. It was Southwestern.
They were
I
11-0
wasn't
that year.
I wasn't sure because I think the Texas was part of that conference too for a brief period.
TCU, Baylor, Texas, Wichita
Yeah.
State, Texas A&M, Texas Tech. Wow.
Right. Jerry wants a great coach in mind of a former C2C host. Which C2C host is he talking about?
Oh boy.
Jerry Jones wants the great coaching mind of a former C2C host to run Dallas. At this point, you've run Dallas right out of the league.
oh, I think I know who.
Is he the Voldemort of C2C? He who shall be not named later. He's like the trade pick that nobody wants to talk about. The trade for the player to be named later.
I think we'll name historical figures more than that guy's name.
Yeah.
Guess we should get out of here on that point if I start naming historical figures that made an impact on others.
Any final thoughts before we head out of here, Tim?
We can't say his name. We're not saying his name. We're saying Voldemort. We're saying all the other things. We can't say that name. Next week we're starting a new show called the He Who Can't Be Named Later for a Player to Be Named Later. It's gonna be a short show. That being said, thanks for everybody for watching. My brother Brandon for calling back in like this is a talk show. I saw the look on James' face like, what are you talking about? Join Big B and myself again on Tuesday for C2C Rankum, where we're going to do. I can't tell you. It's part of the CIA thing. We can't. It's much like the thing we can't name. So, but then we'll be back here again with these two other bozos and Big B for morning tailgate. So, and have fun today. Be safe, and hopefully your team, who's in my division, sucks and loses.
James, who do you got? Or
Yeah.
Who do you got?
Huh?
Who do you got? Who are you sponsoring today?
Yeah, a few games I'm looking forward to today, like 3 of them probably, and that's it. So it's a really easy afternoon. I can't wait to see them. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And Wednesday we'll see if we have Coast to Coast or C2C at night tomorrow. With Callan and me, and then Wednesday with Sports Hour, and then start the week over with Entertainment Hour on Friday. And we'll go from there. We'll see you back here on Morning Tailgate next Sunday.
Yeah, thanks for everyone for watching and tuning in. We'll be back next week for another morning tailgate. Tonight's Between the Ropes. Maybe we'll talk about the Tyson Paul fight. Who knows?
Was that a disaster?
Tune in for Between the Ropes. It was.
The women's fight.
It was horrible. But we'll be back next week for another morning tailgate. With that, enjoy some football and see you on next week.